Hey, it's Charlene here. If you think becoming a millionaire is only for entrepreneurs, doctors, or lawyers, think again. So basically, I told my boss I'm done and quit my 9 to 5 job after my bank account hit 1 million USD. In today's video, I will share 3 key steps that completely change how I see and manage money and fueled my 1 million journey. After this video, you will have a step-by-step guide to becoming a millionaire on your 9 to 5 job. And some of you guys may know I didn't really start with a finance degree or a high-paying job. I studied Chinese literature for my bachelor's degree in Beijing and then a master's degree in journalism in Hong Kong. So finance was nowhere on my radar. When I moved to Hong Kong, I was lost. No finance background, no strong network, and I wasn't really fluent in English back then and Cantonese. So I started as a finance journalist covering banking and investment news, earning 30,000 USD per year. In Hong Kong, that salary is really mediocre. At that rate, I did a calculation. If I didn't eat or spend a cent, it would take over 30 years to hit 1 million, right? But there's more to the story. Back then, I didn't really have a clear goal to hit 1 million and quit my job. But I only knew one thing. I wanted financial freedom as early as possible. And I didn't want to struggle paycheck to paycheck. I didn't understand investments. I didn't know other ways to grow wealth. So the most straightforward way to achieve the final, I would say, financial freedom or whatever you called it, was to earn more. Basically means to earn more money at your job. So first, I negotiate my salary. I started my job in 2014. On the side, I studied the CFA, the so-called the hardest, the most difficult exam in finance. So after passing level 1, I saw an opportunity. I asked my boss for 5 minutes. That conversation lasted way longer than 5 minutes, but because it's money talks. So I got a 10% salary raise after the first negotiation. I mean, not great, but not bad as well. And then I started to realize staying in the same firm has its limits. So the next year, I found a new job and quit. So my second full-time job was still in banking journalism, but it's more on a regional level across major places in Asia like Hong Kong, Singapore, mainland China, even Korea, Japan, and Thailand, and so on. So I was one of the few Chinese in the office, and I kept my habit of negotiating salary. So over the 4.5 years, I would say my salary grew almost threefold. So some old colleagues refer me as the aggressive Asian bitch or whatever, but I really didn't care. So at the end of the day, I just feel like it's really value exchange, right? The company gives me a platform and fair pay, and I give them my time, my 8 hours per day, my effort, and my skills. If they think I'm worth it, they pay me. If they don't think, they tell me. But always ask for more. If you don't ask, your boss or your company will never offer you. So for over the past 10 years, I would say I always negotiate my salary. I do it at every annual and half-year review or whenever I start a new job. So basically, I grew my salary from 30,000 to 100,000 and then to 180,000 in 2023. And now let me share with you another tip. Another thing I love about Hong Kong when I was there is people have multiple jobs. So you've probably heard of accountants who drive Uber at night. I wasn't about to drive a taxi, but you probably know how we drive as Asian women. Oh, sorry, it's not a good joke. But I wanted something that can use my skills. So I tried different side hustles or side business, especially earlier in my career, like piano teacher, like translating for investment reports, freelance writing for banks. Especially in the early year, when I make only 30,000, 40,000 per year, an extra 10,000 or 20,000 make a huge difference. So this actually concludes my first step. Make as much as you can. Change jobs, change cities, change countries, negotiate, diversify your income streams, take on side hustles, especially at the very beginning of your career. You cannot turn 100 into 1 million with any investment secret. Trust me, my friend. So at the end of the day, it starts with your salary and income on your 9 to 5 job. So actually, I know a banker in Singapore. He's actually from Europe and was living in Singapore when I was in Hong Kong. And he drove a Ferrari. After leaving Asia, he sold it, then bought a new one in Europe. So he always buys luxury watches. He has a full collection. And at the end of the day, when we talk, he barely had 6 figures in savings and investment, even though I think he earned over 300K per year or more than that for so many years. I also know some of my girlfriends, they're obsessed with designer clothes, Chanel, Hermes, handbag. So for high earners like them, it's a huge problem. What we call in finance is lifestyle inflation. So the more you earn, the more you spend. So have you ever heard of the rule 50-30-20 rule? So I have a full video explaining it. So basically it means out of your 100 income, you should allocate 50% for your needs and 30% for your wants and 20% for savings and investment. So I put a video link here so you can check it out later. It's basically teaching you how to budget. So back in my early career, when I earned 30,000 per year, I made an extra 10K from side hustles. I could barely save, I would say 20% or 30% every single year. But I set a hard rule. I have to save at least 20% no matter what. So whenever I got my salary, I cut 20% immediately and I moved it to another bank account. And when I earned more, I saved more. So 20% became 30% and then became 40%. Eventually, it was over, I think the last year, I would say over 50%, even 60%. So last year in my career, when I was earning around 200K, including full-time job, bonus, and some side business, and I could save more than 100K, 120-ish. So I really get it. You want that luxury holiday now, and you think you deserve it, and you think you've worked so hard already, and you want that handbag now because you've done all the hard work. But here's the thing, you cannot have both freedoms. So the freedom to enjoy as much as you want now, or the freedom to walk away from your meaningless job or a toxic boss later on. So it is your choice. And this actually concludes my step number 2. The income will not make you rich. Your net worth will. I know saving isn't really glamorous. Budgeting sounds really boring, but it's really the necessary step number 2 if you work for a 9-to-5 job. Okay, now let's talk about step number 3. When I was younger, even in university, I became so fascinated by making money from money, just fascinated by this concept. I didn't just want to earn more, I wanted my money to work for me. And my first investment is actually an ETF. So I put 500 USD during my final year of university when I knew nothing about investments actually. And it wasn't much, but it was a great start. And that start actually changed everything. I was hooked. I wanted to understand how money grows. I started studying for the CFA. I became a banking journalist. I invested how the rich people, multimillionaires and billionaires invest. I want to learn their secrets. And then I entered JP Morgan Asset Management in Hong Kong. I saw what really happens inside the investment industry. I saw who wins, I saw who loses, but I saw one truth. Investing is how wealth is built. But my journey wasn't really perfect. In 2015, the market crashed. I panicked. I sold at the worst possible time. I lost money. It hurt a lot. But I learned from it. I kept going and I gained confidence. And the confidence allowed me later on to invest all my savings. So for example, in the stock market or the overall financial market, can you imagine now? So for example, if you receive a lump sum like 100,000 or 200,000, I can confidently invest them all in the stock market because I gained this kind of confidence throughout the past 10 years. I stopped fearing market jobs, even invested more during market downturns. And some friends already asked me, oh, Charlene, how much did you make in 10 years from your job and side business? So like I mentioned earlier in the step number 1 of this video, I started with a 30,000, let's just put everything in the USD terms, okay? I started with a 30,000 USD salary. I make an extra 10K or 20,000 from side hustles. And by the end 2023, I was making 180K per year. and plus another 20,000, 30,000 from the side businesses. So actually, yeah, my side hustles haven't really grown too much over the past 10 years. So on average, if you only see my income, my salary, it's about 100K per year for 10 years on average, right? From 30K at the very beginning to 180 at the very end. So on average, 100,000 for 10 years is 1 million. And of course, I had expenses. I pay taxes, although in Hong Kong it was so little. I need to survive, right? I need to buy groceries. So basically, I would say I save around half, so around 500K out of the 1 million that I earned. And through investing all my savings, I more than doubled over the past 10 years. So double basically from 500K to 1 million. So this is the power of compound interest, and this is the power of investing. Your savings alone will not make you rich, but understanding compound interest in investments will. Einstein once said, compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it. Okay, my friends, I know probably you think, oh, Charlene, you're lucky you landed a high-paying job. You had the means to save and invest. But here's the truth. You do not need to earn 100K, even 10K to start investing. You do not need to have $1 million right away, right? Even if you build 200K or even 20K over the next 10 years, it could be life-changing as well. You might feel like, oh, you should already started this kind of process, make money, save money, and invest money 10 years ago or even 20 years ago or 5 years ago. But the best time to start, my friend, is right now. And actually, to help you get started, I'm hosting a free online investment workshop later this month. I will share my 5 proven steps to start investing, even if you're a complete beginner. I will also review the 3 biggest mistakes that 90% of people will make. It is totally free, but spots are limited. So sign up now. I will see you in the free investment class.